Good day everybody, and welcome to a simple custom tree tutorial. This is basically how I build custom trees like this in all of my projects. Custom trees are a great way of enhancing a build and making it stand out. They allow you to create shapes and color differences that otherwise wouldn't exist. And you can create small stuff like this as well. But for the most part, I'm going to be talking about sort of larger style trees, like the ones we see here. I will try and build as much as I can live on camera, rather than doing any off-camera work, because, let's face it, it wouldn't be a great tutorial if I just did everything off camera. Nod to my previous videos. Anyway, let's build a small tree first. I'm not going to build this one exactly, but we're going to build something generic, something small, something generic. So, 1 log thick to start with, say up to about here. You can sort of go all the way up with this, but I don't really like to, because most trees sort of split. If you stand your arm on your elbow and then splay your hand out, that's sort of like a tree. It divides up into multiple things at the top. Anyway, whilst I'm doing that, it is worth mentioning that trees in Minecraft have a problem in that the smallest unit to work with you've got is the block log, and let's face it, it's not terribly small, is it? So we can only go so far in terms of detail. Anyway, what I'm doing here is sort of just figuring out where I'm going to put the major branches. Do not be afraid of using diagonals. Diagonals are a great way to introduce odd angles, and let's face it, trees and nature, they're full of odd angles. So, I'm also going to mention my insane tiredness. I went on a bike ride this morning. I'm so tired. Went into Exeter and back. Oh shit, I just gave away where I live. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm just sort of building these sort of branches here. In all honesty, it doesn't really matter too critically where you put these, because no two trees are alike, unless it's topiary, of course. So you can get away with all kinds of crazy, fantastical things. This tree, I'm not really targeting any particular species, but this tree is looking fairly small actually at the moment, so we'll just go out one here. If it looks right to you, it probably is. That's that's how I work with trees. If it looks like a tree, then jobs are good. I'm taking a lot of care to get the logs the right way around here. I'm not entirely sure why. I think this one needs to come out one more on this side here. Then we'll stick... I think we'll stick to that. That's a fairly decent sort of tree skeleton. Now, you can add sort of horizontal branches onto this to make it sort of, well, bushier, as it were, more tree-like. Don't want to get carried away with these though, because it'll end up detracting from the. It'll end up with a really weird shape. Always remember to keep your tree shape in check, because you can end up with some really weird shapes. Like I can see, for instance, that this one here is starting to look sort of very narrow, and so it needs a little bit more. I'm not sure what width on it. So I've come out here. So now our tree looks slightly better, I guess. We can add one here as well. This is a terrible tutorial actually, but there's not really much you can say about trees other than just place logs until you've got a skeleton of a tree that looks right. I'm not totally happy with this one. But it will do for now. It'll do for now. Anyway, what I like to do next is put a single leaf on the end of every sort of hub, as you like, every sort of log end, except the structural ones here, of course. And this gives me an idea of where my leaves are going to be, and I can see immediately there's going to be a problem with a gap in the middle, so we need something to either rise up from the center or cut across to the middle, and I think it's going to be easier to get something to cut across to the middle. So we'll do that, like so. And now we don't have as many gaps, and it looks a little bit better. Phew, this is tiring work, actually. I'm having to actually think about something. We haven't got much down here in the way of leaves, have we? So we'll just add a cross beam there, cross branch here, and we'll also bring another one out here like that. Excellent. Tree. Now then, what I like to do then is add 4 leaves in this sort of circular sort of fashion. Well, as circular as you can get in Minecraft. This is just so that I can see where the bulk of the tree is going to be. So this is basically the start of the leafing process, where I sort of place all the leaves and flesh out the main body of the tree. This tree is actually looking really nice. Actually, I'm really quite proud of this in the short time that I've spent creating it. Your screens are all probably going to be a blur because I'm just jumping all over the place. Don't want to bring the leaves too close to the ground. I think that's all of them. Nope, I haven't got this one here. And now I've got a better idea of how fleshy the tree is going to be. Well, how big the tree is going to be. And I haven't got anywhere near all of them. I've still got this lot here to do. Oh dear, I don't want to take any skips in terms of filming because I'm worried I'll miss something important. Then I have to come back later in an embarrassing fashion and say, oh, by the way, I missed this. I do that far too often. It's not a good practice to get into off-camera work. Try and do as much work on camera as you can. Anyway, look, this tree is looking all right actually, with just this on it. You could say, yeah, that's a tree, that's done now. But then what you have to do is just start fleshing it out, really. And you do that by sort of placing. You can extend the hubs out like this. You can place blocks in here like this and link up the sort of bunches of leaves you have now. That's what I like to do. I like to just link the bunches together in a sort of semi-coherent manner. I mean, it's not easy to do coherent in nature. I'm aware of that. But it's how I roll. It's how I work. And by and large, it does me good. So here we go. We're just, at this point, we're just shoving leaves all over this tree. It doesn't want them, but it's getting them. Take my leaves. Take them. Yeah, but this process can go on for absolutely ages. All you have to do is just place leaves where you think it's going to make the tree look any better. And as you can tell, this can take a long time. I'm not going to pretend this is not time consuming. It is. There's no other way there's no beating about the bush here. There's no way of disguising it. This is time consuming. A lot of time I spend on my build is spent on trees. I'm trying to avoid sort of repeating patterns and geometric shapes. Is what I'm trying to do. So if I see like a trio of steps down there, so a leaf up here would be 2 distinguishable lines. We get rid of that. This is a bit linear here, so we add another block to break it up slightly. And basically you do that over and over again until the tree is complete. And now I will be a massive hypocrite and take a jump cut to when I'm finished this thing, because placing leaves is not only boring for you, it's also boring for me, and I've got a slightly sore throat from talking so long, and the air was cold this morning. I find cold air actually does give me a sore throat when I breathe it in. I'm not sure if anyone else is the same. All the Russians right now are going, oh, you are a big pussy. Cold weather means nothing. That was a terrible Russian accent. I apologise to all Russians. Please don't send anyone to kill me, Putin. Please. Yeah, anyway, just flesh out the tree like this. As if Putin watches these videos. In before he does. Yeah, so just basically flesh the tree out, make it look more like a tree. I've actually done a pretty good job here so far. I'm really liking this tree. Oh, not there, there. Yeah, bit of a gap in the middle, but it's coming together. It's coming together. I will take my jump cut now, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, we're done. This tree is a slightly odd shape. I would admit it's probably not my best work, but then again, I've literally had to create this from scratch in about 10 minutes, so to be expected, I think. I'm still making alterations now. I'm still not happy with it. So yeah, anyway, you can add things at the bottom here, like this, just to give it some extra detail, like roots and stuff. Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad. I quite like it. Main pointers, though. Create the skeleton first. Add leaves in sort of short bursts. And build it up all over. Don't build... You can build one bit at a time if you want. I mean, I guess that's valid. But I like to build the whole thing because in the end of the day, it's all about just the final product. This one's a bit flat on this side here. So I'll add a little bit more sort of... No, I must stop. It's like an addiction. Addicted to trees. Anyway, yeah. Also, something handy. I'm using oak leaves for this. This is dark oak over here. They are the same in this texture pack. The same sort of texture, just the shade is different. If I was going to be more advanced about this, I'd say build first in the dark oak and then add the regular oak over the top, because new growth is generally lighter than old growth. So that would give it a sort of extra sense of realism, as it were. This one here was just a happy accident that I got the two combinations of stuff here. But anyway, let's move on swiftly to a different sort of tree. In fact, this might be a separate tutorial. Who knows? I'll just film it anyway. Tall, thin trees like this, the spruce here. Fairly easy, very easy. Just pick a height. These things are quite tall usually, so yeah, let's go with that. Pick some leaves of your choice, and then what I like to do is work from the top down because it's easier. So we'll pick a height at which we can sort of make it wider. I've picked here, and then we can probably come down about 3. That looks about right. Then I've got to figure out how far off the ground I want it to end. So we'll just leave a marker set of leaves here, like this. That's not how wide it's going to be finally, that's just a marker. So then we'll come out here and we'll add another section, but this section is going to be 4. So each section is going to be getting progressively longer and longer. So this tree has gained quite a lot of mass already, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's all about getting the basics down first. We can make any number of alterations to this afterwards. It honestly doesn't matter. But there we go. That's that bit there done. I'm tempted to extend this actually down one more because it doesn't look quite right. There we go. Always take a step back and look at your trees. Honestly, it's the biggest hint I can give, because it is, as I say, it's about the final product again. I can see that this side's a bit flat, so we need one more sort of pillar of leaves on this side like that. There we go. It's a bit linear, but we can change that. So we'll come out again and go down by a similar number of blocks. I think this one ended up being 5, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to want to go down 5 again. I am conscious that I am working fairly quickly, but this is how I work. This is the speed that I usually work at, which is a bit breakneck, I know, but it's the speed I'm comfortable working at, really. I'm very impatient, so it's there, isn't it? So that will come down to that like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh god, yeah, put up 6. Basically, I'm going down a certain number of blocks, then expanding the tree by 1 every time. So I think this section here I'm expanding it 5 downwards, I don't know. The downside of working this quickly is that I sometimes do lose track of what I've just done. So there is that. There is that. So if I'm doing something horrendously wrong now, I probably won't notice until I've finished the tree. So we'll come, I think it's going to be out here, isn't it? Oops, I've placed that in the wrong place. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Actually, no, it's going all right. It's going all right, actually. And then this last bit out here will be the one where we just sort of shove leaves out. Shove leaves on the bottom like this. Just make it sort of less stupid looking. So yeah, the thing to do with these trees is basically they are actually sort of staggered in real life. So the best thing you can do is mimic that sort of staggered shape like that, but remember not to make them linear and linear, symmetrical. And in case that's what you want, you may want that. You may want your trees to be like managed or cut. If you're, say, lining a driveway or something to a manor house, you may think the trees will be managed quite heavily in that instance and will be fairly sort of regular, like soldiers standing sentinel at the side of the driveway or the lead up. What's it called? Lead up? Driveway? I've lost my mind. I'm going insane. Stupid trees. I actually don't like this bit down here, so we're going to get rid of this. It's confusing me a little bit. So any bits that are sticking out here, these bits here don't look that great, so just make sure that everything at least looks like it could be believable. So that's all this stuff in here. You know what? You know what? For a quick build, I don't think this looks too bad. Honestly, I don't think that looks too bad. That's very good for a quick build. But so the point is about these trees. Go down a few blocks, say 3, and then expand by 1 block, and then go down a bigger unit, say 4 blocks. Then the next section, expand out again by 1 block, go down 5 or 6. And then once you're done, you can add or trim blocks away. So if I wanted this section to look a bit taller, I'd add a couple in here. And then I want to balance that lower down the tree. So I don't want it to look too linear. This bit looks a bit linear here, so we'll lop that off there. This bit here looks terrible, so we'll get rid of that. And we'll add a couple in here, I think. We'll have to balance it here. And then that needs that in there. But that looks the same then, so we'll add another one in here. Add a couple down here. You can go on doing that forever. It looks good as it is. I'm happy with it. I think we'll lose one off the top though. Yeah, that looks a lot better. There we go. I think that's about it for this episode. I'll produce another one where I tackle a much larger tree. But yeah, trees. Really, really simple if you think sort of about how a tree is made or how a tree looks. Reference images are sort of helpful, but more often than not, it's best to go with just what your imagination is telling you. Thank you very much for watching this simple custom trees tutorial. There will be another one very shortly. I hope it helped, and if you want me to do a specific tree, comment and I'll do it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.